Hello, my awesome students. Dr. Fatma Zahra Salim with you, a professor in the Faculty of Education at Ain Shams University. Today we are going to discuss the fifth approach of readings of major in English in your field of study in Foundations of Education department. Let's see the approach and the importance of this approach. Actually, the approach that we need to discuss today is comparison or comparing by purpose approach. Purpose means aim or goal. So I need or objective. So I need to make a comparison to search for what similarities and differences between two texts with different writers or by different writers. So here I search for the key important factors or ideas from these texts and from the second texts and compare between these two texts according to the purpose, according to the line of reasoning, according to the messages that the both texts need to send to you as a reader and as a specialist in a specific career or in our course Foundations of Education. So the meaning, what does it mean, the comparison by or comparing, make a comparison or comparing by purpose, the ability to search for similarities and differences between the texts with the same purpose. So I have two texts and I make a comparison according to some key points or some key ideas, and these two texts similar in their are similar in their purpose, right? Similar in their purpose or the messages that they need to send. So this is the meaning of comparison by purpose. Actually, the dollar question now, why comparison by purpose approach? Why we need this approach? We need to understand more the different types of writings for the same purpose. Although all these texts have the same purpose, we need to know the type of the type of writing, academic, scientific. So fictional, we need to know the type of writing these texts and the way that the writers wrote these texts or wrote these texts according to his or her philosophy, nature, context, environment. All these things we need to understand more and need the messages or the hidden messages or the hidden curricula from the texts and from analyzing the texts very well. So we need to know more by compare more than text with each other. So this is very important to understand more and to know more about the texts and the writers that wrote or who wrote these texts. Compare the strong and the weak. This is very important thing to compare the strong and the weak points in two texts. So we have two texts with different writers or with two writers, and we need to know the key strong points here and the key strong weak points here. So we need to make a comparison according to the strong and weak points in both texts. And we need also to exploring and present the methods and techniques which the writers based their articles on or texts on. This is very important to know the techniques and the methods and approaches inside the texts and by comparing the or make a comparison between that or comparing between the texts or among the texts. This is very important to know the different techniques and methods inside texts. This is very important and make a comparison between the text, this text and another text according to the strategies and the approaches or techniques that the writers used. So we have six steps to make a comparison by purpose in your text or among texts. The first step is read the two texts very well. So you need, before making the comparison between the texts, we need to read the two texts very well. The second step is to extract the purpose of the texts. So you need here to know the goal and the aim and present this purpose or the purpose of the two texts. The third step is to write the key ideas, the important ideas of each text. So you need here to write down in your notebook the key ideas of each text. The fourth step is to exclude or delete or avoid the not important information in both texts. And this is very important to put your eyes only on the most important key ideas and exclude the not important ideas or information inside the both texts to analyze and to make a comparison very well. Then, in the fifth step, to explore the similarities and differences of both texts. You need here to put the key similarities and the key differences between the texts. This is very important to differentiate between the two texts. The last step is show why you prefer and select one text rather than the second one. So you prefer this text more than the second one. You prefer the type of writing of this writer rather than the second writer or the second text or the second text. Why? So you should mention why you prefer and why you select this text more than or rather than the second one. This is very important to know all these things. So we have 6 steps here in comparison by purpose approach. The first step is read the two texts very well. The second one, extract the purpose of the texts. The third step, write the key ideas or the important ideas of each text. The fourth step, exclude or eliminate or delete the not important information inside the two texts. Step number 5 or the fifth step is explore the similarities and differences of both texts, and the last step, show why you prefer and select one text rather than the second one. This is very important. Now let's practice. We have two texts about John Locke, the great philosopher, and he specialized in philosophy and philosophy of education. So we have two texts with two writers, and we need to practice the comparison by purpose approach upon these two texts. This is the first text, and this is the second text. Best of luck. Please don't forget to smile all the time, and thank you so much for having me in this lecture. Dr. Fatma Zahra Salim with you, a professor in the Faculty of Education at Ain Shams University in the Foundations of Education Department. See you next lecture, inshallah. Bye bye.